H2k may be thinking that they just misplayed their play.
True, unless you kind of know. I mean, like, the cool thing is, like, Zillion's been around for so long, which is both a lore reference and just the fact that Champion was part of the original 40, that I feel like you know the Champion at a certain point, and you're fairly comfortable with him, but certainly still, I would expect more than 5. You're absolutely right about that one. Copenhagen Wolves are going to get the Zillion for themselves here on Unlimited, and Airwalks does get his Kha'Zix back after game 1 here.
So there's no jungle Gragas here for the Copenhagen Wolves. They aren't going for that setup.
No good way of burning through Youngbuck by endgame. And that is something that is going to be a concern for H2k.
Oh, and it's got to be Fabivin going, there's nothing left in mid lane. We banned it all.
Oh no, please don't go Ahri 3 times. Please go Riven.
So he could go Riven into the Yasuo.
Yeah,
it's actually a really good matchup. He could play the Fizz into it. He has been practicing that, but no, he's going to go with the Ahri again.
Wow. So
3 for 3.
A high priority put on Ahri here for Fabivin. They rush picked it in game 1 thinking it was a contested pick. Not the case for the rest of these games. Still grabbed it by the end regardless. And thinks that this is the best case here for H2k to win with this champion. Now, they have a decent teamfight team, a lot of crowd control. And that can work in killing some of these squishier members of Copenhagen Wolves, but the actual persistent damage output is quite low.
Yep, and they're scaling. Like, they don't have a hyper carry on the team. They have a burst assassin. They have displacement across the board, and they have a lot of hard CC here for H2k Gaming. So they can still operate as a pick comp. They can operate in team fights with just sustained tankiness.
Yeah.
But they don't have that damage output that you're looking for unless Yarn gets really far ahead of Woolite. But I haven't seen that happen in this series yet.
Yeah, and I'm always troubled seeing low damage comps fighting a Zillion and fighting a Mundo, because I feel like it's so darn difficult to finish a fight out of that point. But if they can get ahead, they'll prove me wrong. And hey, you've got Trashy on Lee Sin. He can definitely make that happen. Now, guys, we're here at game 3. And again, the Wolves are up 2-0. So can they close it out? Or will H2k pull off an upset and try to get their way back in? Tell us what you think by hitting us up on Twitter at LOL Esports. Use the hashtag CWWin or hashtag H2KWin based on who you think is going to win here. But an LCS spot is about to be grabbed here.
One of these two teams, Copenhagen Wolves, could take it immediately.
Yep.
H2k could pull off a brilliant
comeback.
Reverse team kill.
Yep. We'll see if they can do it here. Game 3 is a foot or a claw if you're Airwalks. And here we go. Again, the spread out battle lines for Copenhagen Wolves seems to be standard for them, but they quickly converge into an actual level 1.
H2k all in a ball. Ball of death.
Kind of a line.
Oh, the conga line. And
nope.
Who do you blame? You blame Fabivin.
Sure.
At the same time, though, Copenhagen Wolves, they're going to go ahead and invade and put down their wards because they know it's completely safe to do so.
Nice play. Willett gets the 2-man reveal. He knows about this. Will AOD give free gold?
Fabivin's like, get away!
Yeah. Well, the thing is, his health bar is red, so he can't help but walk towards him.
That's not what he sees.
Well, fine. Ahri's outfit is red.
Okay, there you go. Yes, I am actually happier now.
You're welcome. All it takes is seeing Ahri. Copenhagen Wolves do have some good aggressive wards down as well. They're going to spot their red buff start easily. Odwamna might send a soccer ball down there. Or football, since we're casting the European side of things.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I was confused.
I'm sure you were.
No, I wasn't. That's a soccer ball. Or football with a U. That's my favorite way to spell that word. There we go. Look at this. They're actually going to go walk over that ward. Trashy's going to try to go straight into this. Odwamna.
All right, but this is going to be a counter jungle. Odwamna loses half his health already. Airwalks gets a second slow on this one. A lot of damage to the cleaver. He flashes really late. Airwalks flash auto attack Q gets the first blood. Copenhagen Wolves again off to a great start.
And the fact that Trashy didn't stick with Odwamna to take away the isolation damage is really huge. And I said it last game, they just seem to be out for the individual right now. It doesn't seem like a team, a cohesive unit here. And now Copenhagen Wolves, they got the 2-on-2, they got the bot lane that they want right now because this is more bully potential in their favor.
And look at the start to the game. So AOD started with his heal, so he has literally 0 presence in lane. It's a 1v2 right now, and Will and Unlimited having a field day against Yarn and AOD. Bob's coming out. Nothing can really be done here by this H2k bottom lane. This is a really horrible start.
This is crazy. Trashy, he goes and he does his blue buff, and now he's making a visit down bottom as fast as he can to try and make something happen.
There's the exhaust. Willite does Valkyrie away. Flash already used by Zillion. Nothing else found. 1 summoner spell each down.
And the exhaust from AOD blown in return for Flash. This is really, really just a rough start here.
AOD's already out of health mode
for H2k. Wow, and in the mid lane too.
Yeah, down the line. I mean, this is a really good start for the Wolves right here. 600 gold lead. First blood is only about 325 or 480-ish with first blood, but they're up 600 gold. 800 gold now. Laning phase is super dominant for these guys.
They're pushing these waves out. They're keeping them underneath their turrets. Sorin XD in the mid lane, running Forbidden out of mana and just completely bullying them. The health bars, just look at the health bars from H2k on the side in comparison to Copenhagen Wolves, and that gives you a pretty good story of how the lanes are going right now.
This is absolutely brutal right now. Copenhagen Wolves completely dominating the lanes. Foster's Bomb lands as well. Hjarnan, of course, already out of health potions, now at 100 health, has Summoner heal, and there's no Ignite, so he can survive out of the Time Bomb. Unlimited does not have Rewind yet, so not till level 4 can double bomb.
Hjarnan just dancing back and forth. I don't know what that was. He was bouncing around in his chair. I'm low health and I got it back now.
It's a good song.
Yeah, no, I should.
Do you write like for the LCS? Like
no,
break music?
I wish I did.
The Challenger music, maybe?
Oh, give me a fat beat. That's definitely not by me.
How about I Look Good? That might be yours.
I claim nothing. Anyway, Airwax looking towards that top lane. Don't know what to be able to get here because he knows that the pressure is going to be on that bot lane for Trashy. Look at this. He knows the flash is gone.
Gets this. Ooh, good knockback. Interrupts the auto attack. And Odama does get away reasonably safely. Trashy will counter jungle for this, so H2k still keeping their heads in the game, right? Making as good a choice as they can, seeing what their opponents are doing here.
He still has yet to clear his red buff, which has 2 little lizards sitting at it. So once again, Trashy. He's not used to this type of opponent in a team fight environment, it seems, with this type of strategy. Because Copenhagen Wolves are just outplaying the jungle every game. And Trashy, he's got his work cut out for him against Airwax.
Well, Unlimited has no flash. This could be the way in. They can easily go for the headbutt, or the flash pulverize, the headbutt pulverize. They could get Unlimited. There's the jump on in. Slow lands after the ward hop. Unlimited, though, too far away from AOD to get caught.
AOD not blowing his flash to close the distance. Trashy walk through the wave, deal some damage to it. Look at that.
I don't know. I don't see how a Zillion can be that far up in lane without flash and not die to a gank. AOD had to just go hard for that kill and you'd get it.
He still had exhaust available to him. So at least exchanging the summoner spells. They do see the Airwax on his way to this bot lane. Hjarnan. He's gonna face check it.
Oh, big damage from Kha'Zix. Oh! Leap though. Good pulverize from AOD. Out they go. And a parting time bomb for good measure.
Yeah, Scyther can't learn fly. So sad times.
Even shiny Scyther?
Don't quote me on that one though. On shiny Scyther, I don't know.
I don't think it's any different.
I don't think so either. I think he's just prettier. Definitely. Anyway, about this game at hand. The fact that Airwax is applying so much pressure onto the guy who's known for his jungle pressure, but the way he's doing it is not by matching his aggression, it's by out-jungling him, just in camps, in map positioning. That early game, just taking, it's basically the carelessness of Trashy. Like, Trashy is known as a very aggressive player, but he's reckless. The fact that they didn't check that bush with like a soccer ball early on, the fact that they didn't check it with a ward or anything, and then Odwama face checks it, tons of isolation damage. It's just really just these tiny things that add up and show the difference between the top challenger team and a bottom LCS team.
Yeah. Well, it's also a heavily improving bottom LCS team. Copenhagen Wolves were middle of the pack for a while, had a giant landslide late in the season, and finally started really improving of late. So if Wolves keep playing like this, I want to see how they would stack up against the other European teams, because they've been playing probably the hardest they ever have for a while now.
Yeah. European teams, they go into clutch mode.
Yeah.
Because in spring, none of the European incumbents lost their spot in the promotion tournament.
True.
All 3 of them won. So the Copenhagen Wolves upped their game and went clutch mode again. Big. They could be the only team in history to be in 4 promo tourneys and win every time.
It's true.
Copenhagen Wolves don't go to Worlds. They sit there and go, all right, relegations, let's go. Every time.
They battle.
But they win.
They do. They do. The Soren XD right now, a big part of that one right there. Here's the invade, though. Here comes the CC onto Unlimited, though. Big damage off of level 5 Zillion. He will be going down. H2k find their way back in.
Dragon.
Willite feels pretty safe. Airwalk's kind of pulling some attention. Exhaust used for Flash. H2k, yeah, they should get Dragon now.
Yeah, they should go straight for this Dragon here. And last time they did a Dragon that looked like it was theirs, Trashy smited too early. They got stolen by Mega Inferno Bomb. Is that going to happen again? There's a double knockup!
And they get Willite back at the team, flashed away from the queue of Lee Sin, but still buying some time. Dragon getting lower. Airwalk's still poking, though. H2k are losing some health right here, and people are coming down. This should be still fairly secure. Airwalks just going to poke, not going to steal. There we go. Dragon for H2k, tie game in gold.
They just broke the trend of Copenhagen Wolves getting every Baron and Dragon in the series. They shut me up. I can no longer say that.
Nope. Every Baron, though, still so far.
And AOD, he has vision of this.
Ooh, knocks him into the wall.
Doesn't have the mana for it, though. That might be a little too hard. Airwax does have the 50%
damage.
slow.
And with the blue buff as well, AOD's got to be careful. No summoners there. Time Bomb gonna get used. Flash comes in. Bit of a slow. Willite not gonna chase any much farther than that. Take some turret shots. Just some low health bars.
Yeah, at the start of the previous fight at Dragon, we ended up seeing Airwax take his time to get into the fight. He's like, I'm involving my spikes, guys, after they took the blue. So he wasn't able to help his teammates out when they got picked off, but it helped him a lot there, getting the flash out of AOD. Because if he didn't have those evolved spikes, it wouldn't have helped.
Unlimited is hitting the turret.
Yep.
It's 5 Glover auto attack. It's free money, dude.
Who wants money? He's got unlimited.
You are learning, sir.
Oh, God.
This has been a good year for us.
God. Did you know that when you made that pun earlier, that was the first time I had actually cringed? It was the Windows one.
You even been up the taller. You haven't cringed in any of the puns, too. This is great. This is why I called you my favorite cast for the very beginning.
Thank you. I actually like that a lot. Thank you. But
yeah, of course.
It's not about us. It's about H2k.
It is about H2k and Copenhagen Wolves. 300 gold lead right now for Copenhagen Wolves. Doing what they can. The Ahri still picked up for Forbidden, holding still down 20 CS despite not getting jungle camp this time. It's just the one-on-one. Soren still crushing on Yasuo. That first pick, very much worthwhile.
Really surprised that the Fizz was not picked up as a counter matchup. Forbidden putting a lot of just not so much focus onto Mobile Assassin. He puts more focus on just Ahri herself, because Fizz would accomplish the same thing in a team comp.
I gotta wonder what was going on in H2K's scrims that made them think Ahri is the only choice for their mid lane here. Like, it's very interesting that they've just said this is the only way it's going to work for us, despite seeing lanes go poorly, despite seeing, honestly, very low impact from Forbidden.
Which is something that you wouldn't expect coming into this matchup between Soren XD and Forbidden, and just hearing those names. Soren got picked up.
Oh, unlimited half health, AOD. Pushed around.
Trashy's trying to upset these lanes, though. He's going to try to put some wards over, but there are pink wards waiting.
You know how long that pink ward lasts?
5 hits.
Yeah. I want to say unlimited.
Nope.
Not the case here.
Nope, nope, nope.
Without getting attacked, it would have been.
That's true. They couldn't defend it.
Nope.
But Trashy, they do stop him from that. But look at that, another pink ward.
Oh, man!
Foiled again!
All right, well, still the 400 gold lead. Copenhagen Wolves holding on to this one. A much slower game, though. Like, H2K have bounced back somewhat in this game 3. And like, those early lanes look so freaking brutal. I was like, oh my god, is this the whitewash game? And no, like, H2k have clawed back in. So this one is going to be a battle. Nice little harass there from Moonlight. But Airwalk showing up to shove the lane in. It's going to allow Copenhagen Wolves a bit of breathing room for a recall if they want one. Or just some turret damage. Culling used, but it's going to be the turret kill. Copenhagen Wolves, first turret of the game, jumping an AOD. Pushed around, though. Airwalk's got to be a bit careful.
On the invade here from Trashy. He's going to find Soren. But I don't even know if that's what Trashy wants. I don't think Trashy wants that.
Well, there's a knockup, but it looks like Trashy's the one Soren now. He kicks him across the wall, though. Ward ops away. Everyone's safe.
Didn't see what happened that play because I had to look away in disgust at your pun. But for Bivin, he's going to tag team in. Instead, Soren's going to back to this mid lane. Pick it up. Blue buff.
Yep. Ooh, the invaded, potentially. There's a couple of wards coming down. Airwalks wants vision control first. And Dragon in a minute and a half. They might not go for the invade, but more for the vision control game to make sure that they are ready to fight for Dragon.
Yeah, last time they went for that blue buff, the Dragon is what they ended up losing off the back of it. Airwalks,
right.
he did end up getting the blue, but it cost them. So Yarden though,
oh wow, wrong place, wrong time. Heal burn, flashes the wall. Airwalk's still there. Unlimited gets the kill with a time bomb. And that is now a blue buff they can grab.
The vision control from H2k is severely lacking in this series. The fact that your AD carry even puts himself in that situation where he blows both of his summoner spells before the dragon at the blue buff just to check it is huge.
Yeah.
That is a huge misplay.
You see the Copenhagen Wolves once again in very massive control right now. Easy wave clear for Soren XD. 147 minions still beaten, that 10 per minute mark. And he's going to get a revenge pink ward kill. Maybe.
H2k still going for the invade, going for the pressure. But they're losing out on dragon control. The pink or the wards that they have set up around dragon have been defensive. Copenhagen Wolves are going to have a better route into it. So with 20 seconds on that clock. See who shows up.
Right now, not a lot of wards actually are down. H2k have done a decent job of sweeping those wards away and putting their own down. They have defensive green wards, but no aggressive ones on the dragons.
Look at that vision control. They have no idea what's going on right over that tree. Oh, Yarden knows now a little bit. Because bombs don't come from nowhere.
True. And there we go. Unlimited sweeps that one away. Pink ward in inventory for them. Trinket ward also watches everything. All sweepers on cooldown for H2k. Trashy might go into this one. Chooses not to. AOD, though, has got to be careful. Flashes in, knocks him over the wall. Soren now isolated from the team. Flashes back over, though. Exhaust is on him. The fight begins. Odwam to the front line. Soren will revive, finds the knockup, but no ulti to cast. Vivid now forced away. Exhausted, flashes the wall. Young Buck at the front line. Two-man knockup again for AOD, but the missiles come by, and down goes Alistair. The chase now onto Hyun, forced to dash the wall. 1-for-0 Copenhagen Wolves.
And the fact that they're able to brawl that out with the Zillion ultimate, it's a 1-for-0, and it looks like Copenhagen Wolves are going to take a dragon off of this as well.
All right, so it was already a 2,500 gold lead. Make that more like 3.5 as the dragon comes down, and the Wolves remain in very much control of this game.
Good TPs from the top laners, but here's the thing. Young Buck was level 11, Odwamne just level 10, so Young Buck was able to sustain a lot more in that fight and cause a lot more pressure just standing inside of the enemy team.
What I think was really big as well was the items that actually came through, because Soren already had his static shiv, whereas Vivin just now got his Deathfire grasp. He was actually not as ready for that fight as Soren was.
And Vivin isn't level 11 either, so he doesn't have his rank 2 ultimate.
Right. There's a lot of damage missing.
A lot of damage missing between the power spikes here of H2k compared to Copenhagen Wolves, who just had a level advantage coming into that.
Wow, it's gotten worse too. Will just finishes Trinity Force now. So Corki is probably the most powerful single champion on the map right now. And it's going to be really difficult to deal with him if Wolves keep playing aggressively here. H2k finally trying to make some clutch plays.
Looking for a pick. They'll wait here for a bit. AOD is going to come up here too. They didn't pass by any wards on their way over to here, I believe.
Oh my gosh, though. They're not going to find anything. Wolves have swapped their lanes around. It's now Soren split pushing the bottom lane, Corki holding mid, because you want to pressure an outer turret with this item spiked Corki. Perfect play by Wolves. H2k aren't there in time for it.
They're going to go straight past this pink ward. They're going to actually tell Copenhagen Wolves to go full force into that mid lane.
Kicks him in, passes down. The knockup's available though, does not find anyone though. Dashes back to the minion line. Soren's gonna chase them on or push them around on a wild goose chase. There we go. 2-man knockup. Go!
Oh!
He finds Yarden! Oh my god. Soren XD dodges the charm as well. Gets pushed around by AOD. He will die, but you know what? Super worth it.
Doesn't matter. He's buying time for that middle turret to go down and allow his team to get more on this tier 2. That's a huge play by Soren.
And look at that, mid lane outer and mid lane tier 2, both gonna fall to Woolite thanks to all the pressure created by Soren XD. Youngbuck winning top lane as well. That's gonna be another outer turret for Wolves. 4-0 on turrets in a second.
Odwamna has to book it. Everybody else is trying to get up here in time.
Air walks. Not gonna back off for now. Odwamna takes some damage, but he will stay alive. But this top lane is completely isolated.
The map movements from Copenhagen Wolves in comparison to H2k are just ridiculous. They're going to get 2 turrets, a kill, or sorry, 2 turrets for a kill in the grand scheme of things off of that. And actually, Soren XD traded himself for Yarden. So I can't think of a more worth play he could have made in that situation, 1v4.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. So, 4-1 in turrets, 6,000 gold lead for Copenhagen Wolves, 18.5 minutes in. And Soren is just on split push duty with Mercury Treads to, you know, survive Ahri a bit easier. Copenhagen Wolves, though, 4 members top lane here.
Copenhagen Wolves just going to run away with this, and H2k recover. It's off of the team fighting that they have to make something happen, but Copenhagen Wolves, they do have tools for the team fight. It's not just a pick-oriented composition, whereas H2k, gotta say, this Ahri just hasn't been what they need in these compositions. They've been banning so many mid laners to get Soren on something he's not comfortable, but it's not working. He's definitely comfortable on that. And look at that, Odwamna all the way to the back.
All right, attempted fight here, 4v4. No Soren could be good for H2k. Youngbuck in the back line's pulling attention. Odwamna is exhausted. That's actually pretty good for H2k. Trashy goes in. Airwalks will fall. They've traded 1 for 1 so far, but Youngbuck isn't done. 2 kills now for the Wolves. Yarden, nice flash away to stay safe, but a fight still won by the Wolves.
2 for 1 in favor of the Wolves, despite not having their mid laner. And Forbidden was also in the bottom lane, just going toe-to-toe with Soren. So 4-on-4 in the overall. But, oh man, this does not look good for H2k. They're still sitting in this bush. There is a ward there, too.
Ooh, wow. Willett tried to bait the headbutt pulverize with his Valkyrie away. Youngbuck's got to be careful. Headbutted, not quite in range of the turret, but he will go down to Hjarnan, who might keep chasing, but there's so much damage from the Triforce Corki. The kill goes to Unlimited. The bomb on AOD is going to make him be very afraid as well. 100.
Oh, the
flash pulverize,
but no!
But not enough damage, and Woolite gets the kill.
He's just swag walking away with 60 HP.
Yep, he knows.
Trashy trying to clear out the golems. You can even see the face cams there. Hjarnan not 100% happy with that play, but he actually doesn't look too peeved by it.
We'll see.
He played that pretty well. Took out Youngbuck. Went a little too hard here. Unlimited barely had enough mana to make this play happen. Ooh, so same with Woolite. Woolite barely had enough to make that happen too. AOD.
He thought he got him in turret range.
Headbutt.
Just barely not.
Possibly could have walked to the other side of him and headbutted him in.
I think it would have been the best play. It would have actually gotten him too. There's no way the turret wasn't going to go for Corki to get the headbutt in the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple tweets. I agree. I mean, you said you talked to H2k about this, and you said that they had good scrim records against LCS teams. And this is an aggressive team. This is a team that's supposed to crush faces all the time.
Yeah.
And you're right, they haven't been doing anything. The Ahri was supposed to work for them.
Unrelenting.
Ooh, like, wow.
Ooh, Trashy.
Okay, all right. Whoa, that's a bad flash, though. And that is a kill for Woolite.
Walls are hard.
Yeah. Funky looking, but you know what? Soren knocked around Bashi. What? Dashes through anyway. Gets to Odwamna, and that is a very scared tree. He will go down. Sword will trade his life for it. Just kidding. Zillion's on his team. Might still.
Nope.
All right, he's good.
Zillion's on his team. Speeds him up.
Great.
It's out just in time. Youngbuck taking the turret.
All right, inhibitor turret goes down, 22 minutes in, 10,000 gold lead for the Wolves. And they are just about to take an inhibitor down. Complete control, basically all series long. This could be a pretty swift 3-0 here.
H2k, like Crepo said, unrelented aggression. But we aren't seeing that here today. They're just being stopped in their jungle. They're making really strange mistakes, like not clearing your red buff, not even checking your red buff, or having the wards in proper places during an invade. And then if you want to swap over back to yours, just there's a lot of things here that go wrong on a small scale. Like you're just like, oh, it's just one misplaced ward. No, it costs your team so much here. Wulai just chunks out Trashy with a 409 crit, and then Vivid ends up in the walls.
It looked funky. He actually got over the first jump. Just looked weird on our end. I assume it worked right for the players, but I don't know for sure. Copenhagen Wolves, gonna go ahead and grab, unfortunately, not their perfect Dragon record, but they've only given up one. This will be a pretty clean one here. 10,000 gold lead once more. And there's something like, what, 9 of 10 dragons this series? Maybe higher.
But this is the type of thing I was talking about when I was so impressed in Game 2 with how Copenhagen Wolves had didn't give up a dragon this series until that one this game that H2k got.
Yeah.
Because it's, like I said, one person's out of position like 30 seconds before dragon's up, and it's like, oh, we have to give up dragon now. They end up catching somebody after a blue buff invade, they get dragon for themselves. That's all it takes, and Copenhagen Wolves didn't make a single misplay that cost them dragon. Just that one.
Yep.
Out of like 10, 11.
Yeah. They've largely played pretty smart. A little slow at times, I would say, but overall a very controlled game, and that's a darn good start.
Yeah, their leads that they establish are monstrous by the 25-minute mark.
Yeah.
The 27-minute mark. They're like, oh, that's it. 12k gold lead. We can basically mess up 5 times, and we'd still be good.
Here we go. Dragon. Already dead. Baron being attacked. 24.5 minutes in. I don't know why I keep getting that one wrong. But no one is around. There's no vision at all. Very securely picked up. The Wolves, they just keep picking up objective after objective after objective, pushing their gold leads farther, and taking kind of the slow route to close the game out.
Copenhagen Wolves just look like another beast right now. They are completely different than what I saw when they were playing in Week 11.
Maybe they're the Copenhagen Baron Nashers now? The Copenhagen Red Buffs? Something stronger than Wolves? You don't appreciate that one at all.
Nope.
Nope, not the slightest.
Not
but
the slightest.
Top lane now under siege. The Wolves wearing plenty of buffs now. A lot of pretty colors on their champions here in this game. And that turret will start losing health soon. The harass coming around. AOD healing them what he can.
Young Buck, once again, he's just tanking it up.
Yep.
They got to defend their base.
You're right, yeah, there's minions inside hitting the next turrets right now. Here's the push. Wind Wall stops the culling. AOD does not find it engaged. That is pulverized down on cooldown. Half health in the top lane inhibitor turret now.
AOD has not been able to make the plays that he's wanted to all game long. Look at that, those turrets are so low. Yarden gets junked so low as well.
80 health on him. The flash missile not going to land there, but that is the second inhibitor now available. They're going to knock that one down quickly. H2k trying to defend their incredibly low health Nexus turrets. This could be the Wolves rejoining the LCS on this game. A 3-0 sweep ahead of them right here.
Both these turrets have been weakened so much. The right end of AOD making a play.
All right, the flash pulverized. Young Buck low on health, but he's going to start regenning at level 14. AOD ulti is on. He's staying alive, but the Windwell's going to block some of Hjarden's damage right now. They're engaged. They find Hjarden. 1 kill so far. Down goes the first Nexus turret. Down goes the second. On to the Nexus they go. 26.5 minutes. Their fastest of the day. 13-4 in kills. Welcome back to the LCS, Copenhagen Wolves.
Completely changed from what we saw in Week 11. Boot camp scrimmed their asses off, and they are back in the EU LCS. 4 times in promo, 4 times back.
And you heard Unlimited talk about it before the second game. He said, it's a bit easier to be a challenger team and stay on top. You can take breaks, but it's hard work to stay an LCS caliber team. They put in a ton of hard work over the last month. Soren especially, I think, stepped up massively. Airwalks as well. Basically the two newest members of the team, and they had the series of their lives. Incredible games, all three for these guys. And they just 3-0'd the #1 team from the Challenger season.
Showing that they are a team cannot be taken lightly. And you heard Unlimited talk about how everybody was getting better and they were kind of staying the same. They just took a huge spike in this last month.
They did. So H2k still smiles on their faces, interestingly. A couple of those guys are feeling all right about it.
Yeah, Arden's going, expansion tournament.
Yeah, it's true. Of course, yeah, you've got to keep that in mind. There is still a road ahead for these guys. And I do have to kind of go back to what Crepo was saying. I don't know why it took me the tweet to realize it, but H2k definitely did not look like themselves.
But the thing is that they played on LAN before. They've played best of 5.
Sure.
Like they played against SKP, went 5 games. Like they know how to play in a LAN setting.
I think it's the stakes.
But yeah, it might just be.
Here's the thing. You don't have to win the Challenger season itself to make the postseason. You don't have to win #1 in the postseason to make the LCS promo tournament. They don't have to win those games, and it feels like when that pressure's off, they play a lot better. There's a lot of teams that play better in scrims and better when the pressure's off than when it's on. As Cloud9 and Eclipse, 3 of these players failed the promo tournament 6 months ago. Here against Copenhagen Wolves, they did not look anything like themselves. Suddenly passive, suddenly not making the plays.
That happens all the time with aggressive teams where aggression is their trademark in scrims. You hear it all the time where it's like, these guys just come out of the gate, they pick these things that are going to take it to you early game and win the game in like 25 minutes, and they do it every time. And then you in LAN, it's like, oh god, if we don't win in 25 minutes, our team comp falls apart, and they just shut down and freeze, and they don't try to dominate the lane. They don't go for the flashy plays. I was sitting there thinking, I don't remember seeing Forbidden assassinate anybody.
Never.
This game. He like DFG'd, Ari ultied sideways on people, and he just never picked up kills, and never going extremely hard. And every time he did, he would get exhausted and then just try to book it out of there.
Right. The only play he really made, game 1 on Ari, he first blooded a Nami who was inside his own jungle on an over-aggressive invade. But H2k just didn't do anything this series, and that's unfortunate. I do hope for their sake that they are a good team. There are some very good players. I want to see them go back to their style for the expansion tournament, for that road back in, the hope back in, or into the LCS for the first time for them. Because that's not the H2k we're seeing in the Challenger Series. That's not the team that you and I cast over the last, honestly, year basically, even back when they were C9E, when they were a top team there. I want to see them get back to that form.
Yeah, you were talking about styles there. Copenhagen Wolves, they took their style where they're like, we are really good at team fighting. And then they just added more onto that. It was like this, hey, had this bowl, and they're like, let's make a cake.
Yeah.
And they threw more in there. And now they have this beautiful LCS cake for the 4th time. But it's even better than it was before. Just like Young Buck was saying, this team is the strongest it has ever been with the addition of Airwax synergizing with Soren.
Yes.
And it definitely shows Soren's pressure, Airwax's pressure, and map control.
Absolutely.
Everything I say, you're just going to be like, yes, no, because they played so well.
I know.
They played so well against H2k,
Yeah.
who didn't play their own style, and they didn't dictate the pace of the game. They had to play on Copenhagen Wolves game board with their rules. So that was the problem there.
So Wolves honestly put